Hello everyone and welcome to episode 85 of the TEW 2020 New Japan Pro Wrestling series here on the channel as our first full tour into 2025. And it's hard to believe that we're just 15 episodes away from the big 100. As far as with this Fantastica Mania tour, it's a unique little tour because we're kind of transitioning the roster a little bit with some new stables and some new groups debuting, and they're getting kind of their foot in the door with this show, which is kind of interesting, obviously, because you're kind of having them get a soft launch in Mexico before they full-on appear on the the main kind of roster in New Japan. It is pretty interesting, but also, too, with this Fantastica Mania show, we're building up towards the New Beginning show, and as far as the USA one, is obviously a pretty big one that run, as far as we try to make that a pretty big deal, as a little build up to that, and plus obviously the whole New Beginning tour itself is a pretty big tour, with the three major shows. It's we try to focus a lot more on that, as far as I feel like it's a great, obviously, first start after Wrestle Kingdom for the main New Japan show. But this is just a nice little detour, though, going down to Mexico for a little bit, couple of shows, get to book some of the luchadors, as try to give them a much needed light. And as far as this should be a pretty fun tour, though. I'm excited to see how a lot of the new groups play out, because right now I think it's basically at the infant stage for both of them, and I'm hoping that we get a slam dunk with both of them. But for the actual the final show, in the main event, it is a triple threat elimination matchup. So we wanted to do a 2 out of 3 falls matchup as a triple threat match. So basically where, someone's got to get to, it's the race to 2 falls. However, the game just would not do it. It's just like, no, you can't have basically more than 2 people in a 2 out of 3 falls matchup. Which, I get why. I guess it would be, the way you would make that work would be like the first to 2 pinfalls or submissions or just any type of victory. But like the way TW works, as far as like, you could have it to where it's most eliminations, which is kind of weird, but it's a whole goddamn thing. So instead it's just going to be an elimination matchup. So it's basically going to be a 2 out of 3 falls, but in a elimination style matchup for the IWGP Junior Heavyweight title. Ryu Lee, El Hero del Airbender, and Fuminori Abe. As this is going to be a fun little match, though, obviously, as far as Ryu Lee and Vikingo in the same ring, with Fuminori Abe, a guy that can really be the mix of styles, as far as the guy that can slow things down, use some of his judo to really work like the submission game while everybody else is flying around. And I think it's going to be a fun little main event. Having the Junior Heavyweight title match at main event Fantastica Mania is always fun, though. Remember that we had that. I want to say it was either 2021 or 2022. We had the Alex Shelley Pac match that main evented the Fantastica Mania tour. That went really, really well. It was like one of the first 90s we ever did. It was like a 92. It was like one of the best matches for the first couple of years. That was in that kind of same vein. But this is going to be pretty fun to see. And then the co-main event, a champions versus champions matchup, as the Young Bucks taking on the Lucha Brothers again. So, the reason why this is happening, of course, the tag league, the Young Bucks beat the Lucha Brothers, and the Lucha Brothers just go on to win the whole thing, and they become the tag team champions. Now, normally, sure, we could have a titles versus titles matchup as far as tag champs versus tag champs for all the belts. But then it's like, I really don't want to have the Lucha Brothers or the Young Bucks holding both tag belts, because then I think it kind of shrinks the tag division down extremely. I think it's just not in our best interest to do that. So instead, we're going to go with the champions and champions, non-title matchup to kind of see finally who's the best of those teams. Because it's crazy that, again, we haven't really overdone this match, as far as this will be our 5th matchup, and they've had 2 wins. The Young Bucks, they've had 2 wins. The Lucha Brothers, and of course the 1 draw. So we get kind of the final contest here. This is built as the final contest, and it's going to be a big time matchup for sure for both those teams, because I think it's going to go over really well, because usually does. Lucha Brothers, Young Bucks, can't really go wrong with it. Then the junior heavyweight tag team title matchup, though, is right before the co-main event. Top Flight versus Gulak and Moriarty. And so, with Top Flight, they beat Gulak and Moriarty during the Super Junior Tag League, so that's why they get their first title match here against Drew Gulak and Lee Moriarty. That's a fun match, though. Different clash of styles, and Top Flight, I think, are going to do really, really well. Having this show in Mexico, I think that would definitely pique some interest. Then the Never Openweight 6-man tag team title matchup. So it's Koji Kamai, but it's a different Koji Kamai than what we saw against the Peace, Love, and War team of Juice Robinson, Clark Connors, and Alex Coughlin. It's going to be Okada, Yoshihashi, and Francesco Akira. So it's not Goto, Yoshihashi, and Okada. So it's a little bit different. So that's why it's going to be a rematch there. But that's going to be a fun little match, though. Obviously, Okada and Juice, they still had the big blow-off match for kind of for the chips being pushed all in for both guys as far as putting his career on the line for Okada, and then having the putting the as far as Court of Justice on the line for Juice Robinson, and of course down goes the Court of Justice. But Peace, Love, and War, it's a fun kind of play on what Koji Kamai is all about, but then you had the war at the end, and it's a fascinating book too. But with Juice, Clark Connors, and Alex Coughlin, it's a fun trio right now, and you're going to see it be expanded shortly. But Toyota Tamura and Kyle O'Reilly against AJ Styles and Roderick Strong. So AJ, funny enough, AJ beat Toyota Tamura for the Never Boy title, and then the next big event for Tamura was against Juice, which he won the briefcase and became IWGP Heavyweight Champion. So, of course, AJ gets the first title shot, even though he lost his Never Openweight title to Shinsuke Nakamura. But that's just kind of funny how that works out. That's going to be happening at the Sapporo show of New Beginning. I know it's kind of weird to not do it at Osaka. I just feel like we've built it up for this tour. We're going to build it up at the New Beginning in USA show as well. And then to have the final have the actual title match at Sapporo instead of Osaka. It's a nice change of pace. Give Sapporo an IWGP Heavyweight title match. And then Suzuki-gun against Kingdom of Strong Style. So, of course, Claudio winning the New Japan Rumble gets the title shot against Shinsuke Nakamura. Now, usually we wait till the New Beginning in Osaka show, but again, we're going to push that up to the USA show. Just feel like that does a lot better in the US. As, Shinsuke Nakamura versus Claudio Castagnoli, though. That is a very fun match. Hopefully that delivers in a big, big way. House of Black versus Blastoff. In that's going to be an 8-man. It's going to be, obviously, all of House of Black and then Blastoff, though. It's going to be Konosuke, Takeshita, Tetsuya Endo, and then Jason Lee and Shun Skywalker. Just felt like Shun Skywalker should be on this tour. Kind of fits the mold a little bit better. But yeah, just a little undercard 8-man. It's crazy that Tyler Black's on the undercard after having such a great couple of years with us for this Fantastica Mania. But it just feels like it's a great thing for him to do while not being in the kind of main event picture for the time being, or in any type of title picture after losing to Jon Moxley. And the kickoff of the show, though, the Designers of Perfection, with a Z at the end, because we wanted to have some fun with that. So obviously, this is going to be Milano Collection AT's fashionistas as far as their group, as far as it's going to be. It's 5 men right now. Izod Collection as Tomoya, Tom Ford, and Blueberry Baba, which is Takumi Baba from Wrestle 1. And then the Velocities, Jude London and Paris Day Silva. I just feel like that's a fun, not only because it's Paris and London, kind of with the fashion world, but to kind of change their gimmicks a little bit to a more model-esque and kind of maybe a little Pretty Deadly. I guess you can compare it to like something that's going on in the real wrestling world, kind of that gimmick, but turned up a little bit. Not so much Tyler Breeze-ish and Fandango, but just kind of that thin line of that. But yeah, that's going to be a fun little stable right now. Oh, and Tai Chi. Completely forgot Tai Chi is kind of the main driving force, obviously, because like Tomoya Tom Ford and Izod Collection, and even the Velocities. They're kind of towards the lower end of the card, but Tai Chi, not only I think that fits with that gimmick, and I think that's a pretty fun idea for him to do, but there's also going to be another guy that will be joining them rather shortly, which should be interesting. But they're going to take on the House of Torture, so it's actually going to be Drew Parker, Taiji Shimori, Brody King, and then Takeda and Tsujora, because we never really book Takeda and Tsujora. But also, I think that group, in Takeda and Tsujora, Mexico loves some death matches. They're kind of a great crowd as far as they're pretty open to everything and love everything. I feel like Takeda and Tsujora would go over pretty well there. That's going to be the opener as well, so that should be pretty interesting how that plays out. Yeah, I mean, compared to last year's card, having a heavyweight title match, IWGP heavyweight title match, to be exact, too, with Barbaric Habanero against Shinsuke, like, that was pretty big to do. But, we're bringing Shinsuke back, but he's not, obviously, in the main, though he's still the Never Boy champion. So there's that, and having AJ on the card, having Tamura, of course, the new IWGP heavyweight champion. A lot of unique stuff, but, we're kind of going with what I think should be kind of up at the top of the card, and that's the Luchadors. Having Ryu Lee and Elliot Del Airbender and the Lucha Brothers, and, as far as, just feels like that's the play, and it's going to work out pretty well, I think. I think it's going to go over really well. Only 3 tour shows, and then the final show, so we only got 4 shows to book. Everything's pre-booked, so we can just hop right in to the first one, as, let's see where we're going to run this at, as, got a backstage incident, see what it is. Oh, Masahiro Hara and Shinsuke Nakamura's brought for Wrestler's Court was Masahiro Hara. He's accused of being an hour late to pick his signed travel partner as the judge. Shinsuke Nakamura found him guilty in citizen pay for travel partner's meals for the next 3 shows. Alrighty. Alright, so, oh yeah, we gotta pick the venue. Duh. And trying to think, because I don't want to run, obviously we're either going to run Arena Mexico, or, what's the AAA? Yeah, I think it's Mexico City. I will probably run there, because I'm assuming that's the biggest venue that I can run in Mexico. Oh my god, never mind. Whoa. That'd be cool. Holy shit. Yeah, we're definitely going to be running, Centro, though, my god. Well, fuck Arena Mexico. Alright, so, I don't think we're going to get anywhere bigger than that. But for the first tour show, yeah, we got the Show Center, San Pedro. Oh, okay, I know where San Pedro is. Okay. As, that's fun. It's 4,500. We'll see if there's a little bit closer to 3,000. It's a 4,000 arena. Alright. Oh, and that's in Monterey. Okay, cool. Cool. Alright. As, the main event will probably be Rushmore vs. Task Force Death. It's Pac with, the Lucha Brothers, obviously the Death Triangle, against Roddy and the Bucks. And then Nick Jackson's going to beat Pac. So that's a huge win, first of all, for Nick Jackson over Pac, but I just feel like that's the best case scenario for the main event. We'll put Mexican Blood vs. Blast off. It's Ryu Lee, Samurai Del Sol against Jason Lee, and Abe, as Ryu Lee's going to beat Jason Lee there in 22 minutes. Then we'll have... we'll have Nakamura and Kaji D'Amato against Suzuki-gun of Claudio and Hook. His Hook's going to beat Kaji D'Amato in 20 minutes. Fucking love Suzuki-gun. This new era Suzuki-gun's pretty fun so far. To see them, Francesco and Yo against Coughlin Connors. Set for steal the show here, as Coughlin's going to beat Yo. And then Designers of Perfection. It's going to be, as far as the velocities, with Tai Chi against Taiji Shimori, Drew Parker, and Brody King. Drew London's going to beat Drew Parker there in 20 minutes. I feel like we need a Tactical Masterclass matchup, so it looks like that's going to be it, because we're kind of running out of room, because I don't think Flyer and one of our newest members from the LA Dojo in Corey Oslin. It's weird, that's a very white name, but he is Hispanic, so it's just kind of, I didn't want to change it, because I felt like that'd be kind of, maybe, that seems kind of rude, as that's his name. We're just going to keep it as that, but I'm going to be interested to see how he does against Flyer here, because I think stylistically they match up well, because he's kind of like I think he's technical, yeah, he's a technician Flyer. So yeah, we'll see how he does. The skill is right there, just from kind of seeing it, eyeballing it. He seems to be pretty solid. Which is interesting, because I think the LA Dojo shouldn't produce better prospects than the New Japan Dojo, but so far that's kind of been the case. So it's just been kind of weird. Alright, well, we'll see how this plays out here. Let's see what we get for... Yeah, 22 for the first performance. Not great, but... A flyer, though, with a 450 splash gets the win in 9:37. It's a solid opener. Could have been worse. It was terrible by their standards, but fuck them. Drew London's tapping out Drew Parker as... Boy, Paris de Silva, though. Oh, he's got the injury. I forgot about that. Yeah, he's got to deal with that. But they had a pretty brutal match. Surprised it was only rated decent, because that was... I mean, look at some of those ratings. It's pretty bad, but... Yeah, House of Torture with a bit of team, but, we're trying to build up the designers to perfection. So this is Milanos Squad, and, it's going to be fun. I think it's going to be it's a fun, maybe a little too gimmicky for what we've been kind of pushing. It's late, but we also have a guy who's El Kukui, so I feel like we can kind of get away, and Kaji D'Amato's on the roster, too. Like, we can get away with some fun shit from time to time. But Francesco, and and we also have shaved Okada's head, and he's basically a monk now, so it could be... We're kind of getting there. We're almost at 95 WWF as far as how shitty and wacky it's getting. But Alex Coughlin, though, getting the submission win with the STF over Yo. That was a good little match. She went really well. Yeah, obviously Coughlin and Connor, so they're a hell of a team. They go over pretty well. Then 81, though, for Shinsuke Nakamura and Kaji D'Amato against Hook and Claudio. Hell of a match here, as Hook gets the win over Kaji D'Amato in 20 minutes. I figured Nakamura would do well. Hook, he was booked a lot by AEW, so I figured he'd be pretty over in Mexico, too, just from proxy of being so close, but that seems to be the case, and Claudio did well as well, so that went really well. Like, we probably could have pushed just a little bit higher on the card. Well, maybe not. There's an 82. We have Arayu Lee and Samurai Del Sol, as they beat Jason Lee and Fujiwara Arabe at Blastoff, as Arayu Lee getting the win over Jason Lee. Love it, though. Love it. And as the main event, 76. God damn it, Matt Jackson. And Roddy Strong. Everybody else overrolled. But Pac takes the 450 splash from Nick Jackson in 25-10. It's a good win. It's a good win. It's a good match. I think the Lucha Brothers, Young Bucks matchup, when they get to the final show, I think it's going to really deliver. But right now, Matt's still just pretty brutal. Pretty. I mean, that's actually not a terrible tour show. That could have been a lot worse. Could have been a lot better, obviously, if you just kind of push everything up and swap this with this. Well, actually, swap this with this and then push everything up after that. But yeah, I mean, that's a solid first day. Solid first day of the Road 2 show. And we just have 2 more left. So it's just kind of weird. We're not really building a whole lot, because a lot of it is like Fallout stuff from Wrestle Kingdom. A lot of it's kind of building to the New Beginning show. So the Fantastica Mania show for this year, it's in a unique spot where you're trying to get the most out of it, but you're also really kind of paying off a lot of stuff, and you're not really starting building anything with this, which makes sense, for the most part. So now that's, as far as it takes a load off the guys as well, being able to work a schedule like this where it's a different style, it's a different crowd. So I think it'd be great for the talent, especially after the grueling schedule they've had for the past 6 months or so. Basically from fucking G1 on. It's a brutal tour, but throughout the entire 6 months. But yeah, on to day 2. Away you go. Alright, day 2. Another backstage. That's fucking. They just keep on having young lions get brought to Wrestler's Court. They cannot pay for shit. Give them a break. Sakuya Miyagi was accused of failing to pick up a share of the tab on the shared rental car. Well, they're probably getting paid $20 a piece between all of them. Jesus Christ. Give him a break. So now he's got to pay the full cost of reimburse the travel partners. Just great. Poor fellas. Poor fellas. Alright, so, yeah, I don't know why I clicked on the US. As, I don't think we can run here, yeah. Let's see what we got. Man, there's really not a lot of small venues, and, I'm like, 4,000, that'll work. That will work. So, as far as the main event, I do like the Tyler Black, Malachi Black dynamic duo tandem matchup. I'm not sure how Endo and Takeshita are going to do as far as ratings. So we'll probably just stick with this, though. Okada and Airbender against Peace, Love, and Warp Juice and Clark Connors, as Airbender's going to beat Clark Connors there in 20 minutes. Then we'll add, Tyler Black, Malachi Black against DDT. Tyler Black's going to win. He's going to beat Endo. It was a fun match, though, and some talented fucking guys in there. Nakamura and Jeff Cobb against Suzuki-gun of Claudio and Rex Steiner. So obviously, since Claudio and Hook won last time, makes sense to have Nakamura and Jeff Cobb win this time around. Plus, Matanza, as Jeff Cobb's going to beat Rex Steiner. Sucks that Jeff Cobb, though, is pretty shit in this. As Robbie Eagles, El Kukui against Blastoff. Sure, this was probably the Steal the Show matchup. Shun Skywalker's going to beat Robbie Eagles, though. Big win for Shun Skywalker. That is pretty massive. Flight Club against United Empire. It's going to be Hayata Jr. Fujita with, obviously, Darius and Dante Martin. And then Gavin McGavin with, as far as Drew Gulak and Lee Moriarty of United Empire. As Hayata Jr. Fujita is going to beat Gavin McGavin. That's a huge win. Huge win for Flight Club. And then Dorada against Chris Fart. As Dorada's going to beat him in 10 minutes. Again, showcasing the Luchadors on the card as well as trying to. We open up and end it with a Luchador. But, I think it's going to be, as far as compared to the last show, we'll see. But we start off with a pretty good match, though. 61, we'll take it. I'm not sure why it was rated poor. Because Dorada killed it with a corkscrew somersault senton bomb, getting the win in 9:46. 66 for Flight Club and United Empire. It's a high-speed roundhouse kick from Hayata Jr. Fujita knocking out Gavin McGavin. That actually was a pretty solid match. For a technical match class, too. That's not really, top flight strength, so really impressed with how that went. 64 for Shun Skywalker and Jason Lee against Robbie Eagles El Kukui. The chemistry boost helps them out here and gets them, as far as the better performance. Shun Skywalker with a Skywalker moonsault in 11:37. It's a big win. Big win for sure. 74 for Cobb and Nakamura against Rex and Claudio. Yeah, pretty close, but glad we won with Nakamura and Jeff Cobb there as the Tour of the Islands from Cobb in 20 minutes. Nakamura head and shoulders above everybody else. I love how even, I think it was the first Fantastica Mania we did. Maybe it wasn't the first one. I could have swore it was. We had Cobb beat Matanza. Again, that was fun. The one night thing with him and Dario. But Tyler Black and Malachi Black. House of Black beating DDT. As Tyler Black with God's Last Gift over Endo. That's a solid match. Solid match there. 72, we'll gladly take that. And 71 for the main event. As Vikingo and Okada beating Connors and Juice. Airbender with a 630 over Clark Connors. Yeah, right guy wins. Shocking that he almost outperformed Okada, but I guess it does make sense. We're kind of in his house now. But I'm curious to see. Obviously, Okada's still declining, which is just a real kick in the balls. But seeing the Vikingo do well warms my heart. Well, this should have been the main instead. But we haven't really figured out the card placement, but everything has at least went well. We've had the undercard, and then the top half of the card is delivered on all these tour shows. So that's been nice. But yeah, now we're on to the final tour show, just like that. Just rolling right along. On to the tour, as far as the final tour day. Nobody's gotten hurt, thank God. That would be a real kick in the dick for having such a short tour to give those guys a break to start off the new year, and then somebody gets hurt at a Fantastica Mania. That would be pretty brutal. But yeah, it's been fun to work Mexico. It's been nice. A nice change of scenery is always nice. As let's hope we end out the tour on a positive note. Alrighty, final Road to show. And so hopefully nothing bad happens there. As passing on psychology tips rather, is Eugene Nakata to the Great Okan. As we will be running, I'm not too sure exactly where. Yes, sir's a solid option, sure. Sure, that works for us. Alright. As the main event, though, probably this big-ass 8-man Lucha Brothers was Top Flight, Lucha Brothers and Top Flight, rather, against the Young Bucks and United Empire, Gulak and Moriarty. So we have champions and challengers, teaming up there. As Ray Fenix is going to beat Lee Moriarty, though. So champion beating champions, too. So that should be kind of fun to see. But yeah, I love that match. I think stylistically, to see a Top Flight team up with Lucha Brothers would be pretty awesome. Same thing you could have went with, if you wanted to team up the champions together against the challengers, then you had the Bucks and Top Flight together. Like, that just makes sense. Romu and Bushi against Kota Ibushi and Fuminori Abe. So Abe's going to beat Bushi here. Just feel like, Abe could use a win as a Junior champion going into the elimination matchup. Then we'll have, we have Tamura and Sho against AJ and Carl Fredericks. So since Carl Fredericks, he's in a unique spot right now, since Coughlin and Connors have kind of left him out to dry. And he's at least trying to, I think him and AJ could at least help him out a little bit on these tour shows. And Fredericks going to win, though. He's going to beat Sho in 20 minutes. Koji Kamai against Mexiblood, which is, Airbender, Francesco Akira, and Yo against Riley, Samurai del Sol, and Dorada. Dorada's going to beat Francesco Akira, though, in 10 minutes. That's a big win for the Mexiblood team. And then the opener, which we're just going to add now, as it's going to be the Designers of Perfection against the Young Lions of Kenichi Inami, Kuya Miyagi, Asuya Hara, and Tsuneo Tokudome, as obviously the Designers of Perfection are going to get the win, as Izod Collection NYC getting the victory there. Then Kyle O'Reilly and Roderick Strong, straight up singles matchup, technical masterclass matchup, is going to be a draw. I just feel like don't want to give any guy a win there. Didn't want to do like a count out or a DQ finish. So just felt like, well, looks like it's got to go 30. So we'll see how that plays out. I think it's going to be a pretty solid matchup, though. They usually have good matches. But yeah, I think this might be the best tour show of the tour. We'll see if that is correct. The 48 for the opener is not bad for how we kind of put a lot of guys out there on a limb. But Kuya Miyagi, though, with a 41 is pretty awesome to see for a young lion. He's almost better than everybody else that's been on the roster for years. So that's kind of crazy. Izod Collection NYC, though, the head scissors armbar over Kenichi Iname in 9:56, or 9:55 rather to be exact. Cooled the crowd a little, so we'll see. I'm sure now the Technical Masterclass matchup is going to suck dick. We'll see. Yeah. 60 there. Just great. Maybe we'll get the show back on track. Let's steal the show matchup. 64-63 for Kyle and Roddy. We got 71. That's what we needed as, it's a pretty solid matchup, obviously. I think a lot of people in that match, makes sense for them to do well. Mexiblood, though, killing it. Absolutely killing it. I'm glad we've booked them pretty strong, obviously, because big favorites for this crowd. And Isaiah corkscrew somersault, senton bomb for Dorada over Francesco Akira. Yo probably should have took the fall, but it is what it is. A Sho and Tamura losing to AJ and Fredericks, which Fredericks was really off his game. He probably would have done about the same as Sho, but he gets the win to lifting DDT in 2024. Yeah, I just don't know what we should do with Carl Fredericks at this rate, because now it sucks. I really enjoy his work, and I was very high on him getting over, and now it's 5 years later, and he still hasn't really hit that. I think he's even regressed a little bit because it's just not really working out for him compared to Coughlin Connors. It's brutal. It's brutal to see. 80, though, for Romu and Bushi against Abe and Ibushi. As I have solid matchup. Probably the right team wins there. With Abe and Ibushi. They're a solid little team, actually. That's a good little 1-2 punch. As Abe getting the figure 4 leg lock over Bushi in 20 minutes. That gets an 80, a 77 for the main event. As Ray Phoenix with the Meteora over Lee Moriarty. Yeah, Darius Martin, worst guy in the match. So was Dante as well. But everybody else, they did about the same. Actually, Matt Jackson was the worst guy in the match. Jesus. Just the drizzling shits is Matt Jackson all of a sudden. I don't even think he's declining. He might be, though. We'll see. Yeah, he is declining. Physically. He's also got low morale. We keep on trying to fix that, but he just a Debbie Downer. Oh, Matt Jackson. Brutal. 76. It sucks, because this fucked everything up. If I would have just flipped it, it would have went a lot better. Probably. But it's the way she goes. At least this didn't also perform as high as I thought it would either. So there's that. But this should have been the main. For sure. Solid matchup there. It's relatively good tour shows for what we expected. We're not trying to shock the world or anything on those tour shows, but some fun matches, some fun matchups. You know, some of them didn't really deliver as high as I thought they would, but that's alright. At least nobody got hurt. As on to the final show, we go on to Fantastica Mania. Alrighty, Fantastica Mania. As, no, we're not going to be running in the Sayama Super Arena. We will hopefully be running a big-ass stadium in Mexico. Then, though, Brighton moved backstage with doing several funny cartoon drawings of his colleagues. Wait to go. Yeah, I remember that match was... I didn't remember it being that good, but that makes sense. So, yeah, the Mexico City Arena. I think we're going to do a lot better than 22,000. We'll see, though. Yeah, Atlantis Jr., Pentagon Jr., yeah, Black Taurus, and Alex Shelley. Yeah. It's kind of funny, we have kind of the same idea here, but instead it's, you know, tag champs versus tag champs. But still have the Junior Heavyweight Tag Team title, and also the Junior Heavyweight title matchup as well. So it's kind of the same idea of having 4 title matches. Let's see here. Oh boy, I'm liking that number. I'm liking it. Did I miss intro? Oh, there we go. There we go. Oh my god, 77,000 fucking people. Will be a sellout. Largest stadium in Mexico. Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. So yeah, elimination. Title matchup. Zabe's gonna get the win, retaining his belt. I'm sure the fans are gonna love that. You know, as far as how they came came to Mexico City, this big-ass fucking stadium, to see either Ryu Lee win the belt back or even see Airbender win it. But Abe retains. Tough break. That's not sending the fans home happy. But at least the co-main event, the Lucha Brothers will win, so you at least get that. So Ray Phoenix is going to get the win now. I'm hoping that match goes over well. It just sucks that Matt's just a fucking bum and a half, it seems like, right now. Actually, while I'm thinking about that, I wonder if... I think I'll be able to look at his morale, because I didn't take a look at it. Yeah, he's irritated again. God damn it. Let's just give him... We're rolling in cash, so we can kind of give people just outrageous bonus. Yeah, as you can see, $166 million. We are rolling. We are not stopping. And to have a show like this, to run in front of 72,000 odd fans, is massive. Massive to see. So, Junior Heavyweight Tag Team title matchups next. Top Flight, Moriarty, and Gulak. As retaining is Lee Moriarty and Drew Gulak as a 22-minute matchup there. Moriarty going to get the win. That should be a decent little matchup, though. Koji Kamai against Peace, Love, and War. As the interference from Barbaro Cabanero joining Peace, Love, and War, costing Yoshihashi the matchup and Koji Kamai the win. Just feel like they could use a Barbarian over there for a war. And as far as I would like to see him and Juice team, because I think that's a fun little team. Because they could be like Barbaric by design or something like that. Something like that. I kind of want to use design though, since we have the Designers of Perfection already, but it makes sense though for them to be Barbaric by design. It's Dragon's Den against AJ and Roddy. And Dragon's Den will win though, as Tamura's going to beat Roddy in 20 minutes. Then Suzuki Gun, Kingdom of Strong Style, as Alex Shelley's going to beat Fred Yehai. Big win for the Kingdom of Strong Style. House of Black, Blast Off. This might even be one of the best matches, if not the best undercard matches. El Kukui going to get the win. Giving some love for the El Kukui gimmick in Mexico. And then Designers of Perfection against House of Torture. As Taichi going to get the win. Big win for the Designers of Perfection. I'm sure they're going to love that opener. Sure, they're just going to fucking love it. Oh, wow. Couple minutes we have to cut. Oh, well, yeah, we'll cut off some of the Bucks Lucha Brothers matchup. That's fine. 25-minute matchup there. Perfect. Perfect. So no post-show press conference or anything like that. Mainly because it's Mexico. We really, they don't really do that there. So it's kind of more of a New Japan thing or Japanese pro wrestling more than anything. But yeah, we should be pretty good to run this show. Let's see what we get. A 60 for the opener. Oh, Takeda with a 38. That is brutal. Yeah, I mean, the Designers of Perfection, they kind of stunk it up a little bit, but Taichi and Paris de Silva did well. Again, this is kind of not their strength to be a technical masterclass matchup, but big win, though, nonetheless, as Taichi submitting Toru Tsuchiura in 20 minutes. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. For 72,000 people. 73 for the House of Black Blast-Off matchup. And, yeah, I mean, what a performance from Tyler Black there with a 95. The Dream Destroyer from El Kukui over Jason Lee. Yeah, not even close. Probably could have had Ibushi in that match instead of Jason Lee. Just felt like he was actually the better of him and Shun Skywalker. So probably shouldn't have had Endo on the match. Is kind of the big thing here. Looks like. See, he only had a 62. He outperformed Malachi Black though in El Kukui, but yeah, just nowhere close to obviously Tyler Black. At least Ibushi would have been. But yeah, solid match. Solid match indeed. 84. For Suzuki-gun against Kingdom of Strong Style as the Shirin Yu from Shelley over Yehai in 20 minutes. Shinsuke with a 97. It's crazy. Claudio, though, second best guy in the match with 78, 75 for Kushida, 71 for Alex Shelley. Yeah, just the Kingdom of Strong Style team killing it there. 80 for Dragon's Den versus AJ and Roddy. And it's a Dragon's Den team with the chemistry boost. Just too much for him. Tomorrow with the Hayato Driver over Roderick Strong in 20 minutes. And 80 again, as Koji Kamai losing to Peace, Love, and War thanks to the interference from Barbaro Cavanero. As that's their first defense of their freshly won Never 1.6-man tag team titles. But yeah, Okada with an 80. Juice with an 88 is nuts. Juice would kind of rule in Mexico, though. He'd be a goddamn heat magnet down there. But, boy, Juice just, it's wild to see how well he's done, because he's, like, slightly been, like, improving throughout the years, but just to get an 88 like that, did not expect that at all. Glad they won. They were the better team. An 83 for Top Flight against Moriarty and Gulak, as they make their first defense of their freshly won Junior Heavyweight Tag Team titles as well. Joint custody for Lee Moriarty over Darius Martin. Yeah, just, they were close. Darius just needs to be a little bit better, but Dante's almost on the same wavelength as Gulak and Moriarty. But it's a solid matchup, though. An 83, we'll take it. 96 for the Bucks against Lucha Brothers, as the Lucha Brothers get the win, with Ray Fenix getting the pinfall over Nick Jackson after the Fear Factor into the double foot stomp. Yeah, Matt Jackson, again, just being the weak link. But boy, Ray Fenix and Nick Jackson killing it there. Pentagon Jr. with an 81. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. And the main event, hopefully it delivers. Very, very nervous, but yeah, it's close. 95, though. Ryu Lee putting up a hell of an effort. But Airbender and Abe with 78s, but Abe retaining. So yeah, Ryu Lee, it'd come down to Ryu Lee and Abe probably. So yeah, that actually went exactly how I wanted it to go. But man, that's a tough break. Tough break there. Fun match, though. Fun match. I'm glad that main evented. Oh, that actually went pretty well. Yeah, 93, so basically about the same. I think the card overall did a little bit better than the previous years, but yeah, that went pretty well. Well, yeah, but I mean, I'm going to put over Ryu Lee, of course. Going to put over Ray Fenix, and probably put over Nick Jackson as well. Those guys killing it there. But yeah, what a show. What a show. Love that we can do Fantastica Mania like that, and it can still run out like a really solid show. Get like a 93, and just have a fun little outing in Mexico. But yeah, now the next episode, of course, the New Beginning Tour. Very, very big tour. 3 big shows. We get a dream match, though, on the first night in the U.S. show. John Cena making his New Japan debut against Hiroshi Tanahashi in a dream match. Non-title matchup, since Tanahashi, of course, the New Japan Strong Openweight Champion. This is a special request match for both guys. Both guys kind of looking at the other side of the world and seeing what the other guy's been doing for the past fucking 15, 20 years now. Yeah, literally 20 years. That's crazy to think that is kind of when this dream match was kind of talked about. And they get it. Cena's wanting to, he wants to leave wrestling with kind of no stone unturned type of thing. And that's the one thing he's always wanted, was the Tanahashi match. And Tanahashi, same thing. So we get it in the U.S. too. So that should be fun to see how that plays out. And so much more on the rest of the tour. We'll have another title matchup with Claudio and Nakamura on that show. So that's going to be a nice little 1-2 punch. AJ and Tamura for the heavyweight title and at the New Beginning in Sapporo show. I don't even know what's going to happen at the Osaka show. That shows you how fucking locked and loaded we are kind of up front. But yeah, I mean that's gonna be a fun show. That New Beginning in US show. That's gonna be pretty fun to see how that all plays out. But yeah, we'll catch you guys next week. Take care, everyone.